Do you know who was really the first Pegasus saint of the mythological era? The official saga introduces us to two different characters, but who would be the real first Pegasus? Hello, saints and Amazons! Welcome to the Semperquis Saber channel. I'm Wes. And in today's video, we're going to explore the depths of the mythological era to understand who was the human that changed the fate of the Saint Seiya universe, uncovering the identities of the first Pegasus saint, and how this bond with the goddess Athena shaped all the holy wars we know. Comment below where you're watching this video from, and answer me a question. Would you like to see an official saga telling the complete story of this first Pegasus saint? Guys, please like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and let's start this awesome video. Semperquis. Have you ever stopped to think why Hades, the all-powerful emperor of the underworld, is so afraid of a simple bronze saint, to the point of hiding his own original body in a mausoleum in the Elysian fields? This is the origin story of the legendary warrior, the first Pegasus saint. To understand the importance of this character, we need to go back thousands of years in the universe created by Masami Kurumada. The story doesn't begin with Seiya or Tenma. It all starts with a traumatic event for the Olympian gods. The moment when a mortal achieved the impossible. Since the times when the gods walked the earth, the Pegasus constellation was destined to protect Athena. But don't be fooled by the shine of the bronze armor. The first Pegasus was a force of nature. He was the first one capable of breaking through the divine barrier and wounding the true body of Hades. This event was so impactful that Hades, consumed by pride and fear, decided to seal his own original body. In the Elysian fields, he started using the bodies of human hosts, like Shun of Andromeda and Elan, to manifest himself on Earth. Many fans know the village on the outskirts of the sanctuary in Greece as the village of Rodorio. But did you know that according to the game Sunset Online, which was supervised by Kurumada Productions, this name is a direct tribute to the first Pegasus saint? Rodorio was not just a warrior, he was the symbol of human resistance. In the chronology proposed by the game, he was the central pillar of the first holy war against Poseidon, and later against Hades. His courage was so great that after his death, the village where future aspiring knights rest was named in his memory. It's a poetic connection. The place where every knight's journey begins bears the name of the one who first reached the peak, the village of Rodorio. However, recently the franchise expanded this myth through the manga Saint Seiya, Rise of Poseidon. Here we are introduced to Xixin of Pegasus, a figure who brings an even deeper dramatic weight to the mantle of Pegasus. Xixin was not just a soldier, he was a man judged by Olympus itself. He faced the terrible deities Justitia, the scales of justice, and Nemesis, the personification of divine vengeance. Xixin's crime was being a human who dared to challenge the will of the gods to protect humanity. This trial takes place after he wounded Hades. The story tells that Nemesis imposed the 12 trials on Xixin, a series of deadly challenges designed to annihilate any trace of hope. However, what the gods did not expect was the intervention of Justitia. Upon witnessing the purity and determination of Xixin, Justitia felt compassion, a rare feeling among the Olympians, but perhaps not so rare among the Titans. She helped him escape divine execution, allowing him to flee from judgment, but the price, however, was far too high. For having helped the mortal, Justitia was judged by the king of the gods, Zeus, and condemned to eternal suffering in Tartarus, the deepest and most terrible region of the underworld. In this version, the name of the first Pegasus Knight is a reference to China, the country that has one of the largest Saint Seiya fan bases in the world. And for someone to be able to hurt a god like Hades, brute strength alone is not enough. The series' internal mythology and guides like Saint Seiya Taisen make it clear that the mythological Pegasus mastered concepts that most knights can barely comprehend. First, speed greater than the speed of light. As we know, a true gold knight reaches the speed of light, and the first Pegasus had mastered the 7th sense. But in the battle against Hades, he surpasses that speed, managing to deliver billions of blows per second with the famous Pegasus meteor fist in its primordial form. Second, the Arayashiki, the 8th sense. To invade Hades' realm and confront the god in his own domain, it is speculated that he awakened the 8th sense. This allowed him to enter the underworld, keeping his will and body intact without being subjected to Hades' laws of death. One of the most fascinating aspects of Saint Seiya is the concept of reincarnation. It's no coincidence that Seiya in the modern era and Tenma in the 18th century in the Lost Canvas and Next Dimension are so similar and share the same destiny. They share the soul of the mythological Pegasus. There is a metaphysical bond between the soul of this first warrior and the soul of the goddess Athena. In every era when Athena incarnates on Earth to protect it from evil, the soul of Pegasus is reborn to fight by her side. He is a god-slayer, the unpredictable factor that causes the deities to lose wars they should have already won. This bond is so strong that the Pegasus armor, although made of bronze, is often the first to be bathed in Athena's blood, evolving into its divine armor form, the God Cloth, bringing the mortal knight closer to the level of a god. In the Lost Canvas, we also get a glimpse of the first Pegasus knight. In the world of dreams, the mythological soul of Tenma awakens. He takes the form of the first legendary Pegasus knight wearing his divine armor. This form is momentary, but it's enough for him to defeat the god of heroic dreams, Morpheus. And although the legend that a Pegasus knight wounded Hades is canonical in Kuramada's main work, the name of this hero varies depending on the media. In Saint Seiya Online, it's the knight Rodorio who was honored after his death, with the village next to the sanctuary being named after him. And the second and most updated version is Xixin of Pegasus, who was introduced in the official manga called The Rise of Poseidon, where he faced the 12 trials of Nemesis and was helped by the goddess Justitia. And what's most interesting is that in the Lost Canvas, we see this image of the legendary Pegasus Knight taking shape in the world of dreams. But in that same story, it's also revealed that Pegasus was a celestial being, a divine winged horse, who became human along with Athena to protect the goddess. So everything indicates that the story of the legendary Pegasus comes from mythological times, even before he ascended as a knight, when Pegasus was simply a celestial being who became human to defend the earth alongside his goddess. However, regardless of the name, the essence of this character is the same: a man who refused to kneel before the fate imposed by the gods. Whether as Rodorio or as Xixin, the first Pegasus Knight represents the infinite potential of human cosmo. He proved that with determination and the support of a just cause, even the lowest of knights can make a god bleed. It's because of him that Hades hides his body, and it's because of him that Seiya and his friends keep burning their cosmo to this day. So, what did you think of this story? Do you prefer the classic version presented in the game, or the new mythology introduced in Rise of Poseidon? Leave your opinions here in the comments. And of course, thank you for watching this video until the end, and see you next time. Burn your Cosmo to infinity!